sticky maple and walnut morning buns are an absolute treat. It's a beautiful buttery dough made from scratch with a lovely nutty maple filling. It is the perfect way to start your day. And these amazing buns are from my brand new cookbook, Bigger Bolder Baking Every Day. I'm sharing the recipe with you right now in a video to show you step by step how to make it. I hope you enjoy it. So this recipe comes from the chapter that I called Leisurely Weekend Recipes. Now I created this chapter because as bakers, we often see a recipe maybe throughout the week that we want to make, but we don't have the time to do it. It could be more involved, it could be croissants, it could have more steps, it could be a yeasted dough. So I created this chapter full of those types of recipes. So at the weekend, when you're not working, when you have more time, you can make these recipes. You can start on a Saturday, you can finish them on a Sunday, whatever it is. And that's what this recipe is, loaded full of lovely breads and doughs and delicious pastries. So I think honestly probably one of my favorite chapters because this is the kind of baking that I like to do. It's slow, it's yeasted, it takes time, and then you get amazing results at the end. So let's start out by making our Danish dough. This is a really versatile dough. I absolutely love it. Simple to make also. In a nice large bowl, we're going to add in our flour, our sugar, our yeast, and our salt, and then give them a mix together. Now for the yeast, I always use instant yeast because I find it so much more convenient to use. You just add it into the dry ingredients like any other ingredient and there's no need to sponge it. Now next we add in our lovely butter. You have to have a lot of butter in a Danish dough. This has been cubed and it's nice and cold. Now you can do this with a dough cutter. I'm going to do it with my fingertips. And we're just going to rub this butter in with our fingertips. All you do is kind of smear the butter between your fingers and break it down into smaller pieces. So a Danish dough typically is very buttery and flaky. So when you bake it, you have all these lovely layers and it's also a little bit kind of like fatty and greasy, but in a really good way. And you'll see that when these morning buns are done. So there you go. Like I said, just takes a few minutes. Do you see that? There's big lumps of butter, there's small lumps. This is exactly what we're going for. I'm gonna wash my hands and then we're going to add in our wet ingredients. So here I have some cold milk in this jug. Now normally I say when we're using yeast and making doughs like this, I say warm milk, but this is a little bit different because we're not trying to use this dough in the next few hours. It's actually going to rest overnight, so this milk can be cold. And into that goes our nice big egg. And then give that a whiskey whisk. And then our wet into our dry. I'm going to hold a little bit back just in case. And then go in with your hands and bring your dough together. Might be a little bit of a wettish dough. That's okay. It's going to chill and firm up. So let me just wash my hands and then we're going to wrap this up. So here I have my cling wrap. Lay 2 or 3 sheets out on your countertop. We're going to turn out our dough into the middle of our cling wrap. Wrap it up into a rough square, just kind of pat it down. There you go, nothing too fancy. Now what we're going to do is pop this into the fridge for a minimum of an hour, let it get nice and cold, and then we're going to come back and roll it. So here I have my dough, it's nice and chilled. Going to unwrap it. Flour your surface, flour your rolling pin, flour your dough a little bit. And now we're going to roll it out to 12 by 18 inches. I always have my trusty ruler here. Roll it out as evenly as you can. And if you need a little bit more flour underneath that dough, don't be afraid to sprinkle it. So now this is roughly exactly what we're looking for, 12 by 18 inches. Now I'm just gonna get my ruler and kind of just tidy up my rectangle a little bit. Don't be afraid to use your hands to guide your dough. And then what we're going to do is a letter fold. So fold this over like this, in 3s, and then this side. And line up those edges. It's as simple as that. We always think with rolling and folding doughs, it can be a little bit complicated. Sometimes I get a little bit nervous about it, but this dough is actually really simple. So what we're going to do again is just repeat what we just did with the rolling and the folding 4 more times. Roll out 12 by 18 inches, fold into a letter fold, roll out again 12 by 18 inches, then fold it into a letter fold. Line it all up, then roll out again. roll and fold, roll and fold, for a total of 5 times altogether. So that's it. Now you know how to make this lovely Danish dough. Now the beauty of my book, Bigger Bolder Baking Every Day, is that I actually take this Danish dough and use it in multiple recipes. I have a lovely one in there for an almond twist, and then also traditional breakfast Danish. Now what we want to do with this dough is pop it into the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours. It can be kept in there until 4 days. We're going to get this nice and cold right now, and while it's chilling, we're going to prepare the filling for our morning buns. So for our filling, in a saucepan over medium heat, add in your butter, brown sugar, maple syrup, cinnamon, and salt. And then just heat these ingredients up until your butter and sugar melt. So by now, there's some of you out there who actually might have my book in your hands, which is fantastic because I'm really excited to see what you guys bake from it, what chapter you pick, what you gravitate towards. Whether you're unboxing your book or baking from it, make sure to use the hashtag #BiggerBolderBaking so we can see what you guys are making. I can't wait to see the photos. Lovely, this is melty, it only takes a minute. Let's add in our nuts and give them a stir. Oh, this looks fantastic and smells delicious. I'm going to set this over to the side, let it cool down completely before we can use it. Let's head over back to the countertop. I have a dough already ready to go. Let's get it rolled out. So here's a dough I made yesterday because I wanted it to be nice and chilled and ready for today. Now this is really simple. At this point, all we're doing, if you've made cinnamon rolls before, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are rolling this dough out to, again, 12 by 18 inches. Nice bit of flour everywhere. Lovely. This is looking great. Boopy boop. Okay, our filling has chilled. It's nice and stiff. We don't want this too runny. We're gonna put it on the surface of our dough and then just spread it out as evenly as you can with a spatula. Then simply what we do is start to roll up our dough. Pull the dough towards you as you roll and get it nice and tight and roll it over on its seam, just like that. So these are rolled up. Here I have a serrated knife. Make sure it's serrated because we want to carve it and get nice clean swirls. And we're going to cut each roll to around 1.5 inches, at the most 2 inches. Get nice big rolls. And all you want to do is just take your buns and you want to keep that swirl, that lovely swirl facing up as you place them into your cupcake pan. These are looking fantastic. Oh my gosh, they're going to be huge. So here's what you want to do. Cover them in cling wrap, just lightly. I put a tea towel, nice clean tea towel over them gently. Okay, so we're going to set these over to the side at room temperature. Nice warm spot is preferable, and they'll take around 45 minutes to an hour to proof. Once they're done with that, we can get them into the oven. 20 minutes before your buns have done proofing, preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. Buns like this love a really hot oven to bake. Bake your buns for roughly 20 to 25 minutes. We want to get them a really lovely deep golden brown before we enjoy them. These guys look gorgeous. Look how bubbly they are and a lovely golden brown. I think these look amazing, but while they're still warm, we're actually going to do one little last step. I'm going to brush them with a little bit of melted butter and maple syrup mixed together. Do this step while they're still warm so the glaze kind of soaks in. I like to enjoy these guys while they're still warm, so I'm going to put them onto a platter. Talk about sticky maple morning buns. These guys look like heaven, such a treat for the morning time. Let's have a look there on the inside. Wow, do you see that? That beautiful buttery pastry, absolutely gorgeous, and then that lovely nutty filling. I always recommend eating these while they're fresh out of the oven. These kind of recipes are the reason we brunch on the weekends. If you think this recipe is awesome, there's 124 more just like it in my brand new book, Bigger Bolder Baking Every Day. It's out now, so don't forget to pick up your copy.